Hello everybody and welcome back to Honor Thy Podcast. This is the weekly DCTV Arrowverse podcast. We discuss everything Arrowverse. I forgot what I was saying there. I am your host, Declan McKinney. You may know me as the host of DC Central, and with me as always is my co-host Dan McCance, otherwise known as Mulekick Media.
I will correct you on one bit of your intro. You said weekly. We are most certainly not a weekly podcast.
Certainly not anymore, no. Yes, the uploads have been staggered, although, to be fair, in my defence, I have been waiting a long time for that Flash thumbnail, which I only just received today.
Well, your boy has been trying his very hardest to become the next Oliver Queen in terms of muscles in the gym.
I have seen you in the gym a lot.
Yeah. Man's been working out. I blame this all on when I met Stephen in London in May, and then I'm just stood next to him, and I thought I was in an alright shape, and then I stand next to him, and I'm just like, I feel so tiny. So it's just like from then onwards, it's just kind of re-kicked this gym obsession. So, but blame Stephen. It's Stephen's fault.
See, I more take the Grant Gustin route, and I just do more running. That's more me in the gym.
Yeah, but Grant doesn't even run. He just lifts his upper arms, and it's just like. That's why the ring animations look so shit on the Flash.
Yeah, although if you notice, I actually found out in Season 1, they actually did make him run. And then in Season 2, Grant was like, do I really have to do that? Because you never film me below the waist. So yeah, that's actually a true story.
That's why Season 1 is the best season of the Flash, everyone. Because they put the most effort into the running.
Yep. But anyway, welcome back to Honor Thy Podcast. Obviously, we've had the Arrow episode, where we reviewed all of Arrow Season 7. We've had the Flash episode, which I haven't actually uploaded yet as of recording this video, but you would have seen it by the time this one goes up. But now we are reviewing Supergirl Season 4, possibly the biggest surprise of the Arrowverse last year.
I mean, the other one we yet to review was a surprise, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But so, in terms of like good surprises, definitely.
Yeah.
But...
And that is our review for Supergirl Season 4. But before we get into that, obviously we will talk about the news. There are a couple of pieces of news to talk about this week. Just a couple of things. Obviously, it's a bit of a difficult thing talking about news at the moment because obviously it's so slow. But the shows are sort of officially filming now. With Supergirl is officially filming Season 5. Flash is filming Season 6. Legends obviously won't start filming for a while. And I don't think Arrow has started filming yet.
No, Arrow's not started yet. I heard something, though, that apparently Katie Cassidy's flown into Vancouver.
Yes, she has, yeah.
Maybe that would suggest that it's coming soon.
Well, Arrow, I know, is starting a week after everything else, so
yeah.
We might see Arrow maybe start filming next week. Yeah, Katie Cassidy is in Vancouver. I saw that on her Instagram, so that is there. But with the show's now filming, it has actually been revealed what the first 2 episode titles are for The Flash Season 6. The second episode was accidentally leaked by Grant Gustin himself on Instagram.
Well done, Grant.
Good job, boy. And the first episode was also just revealed. I think people managed to figure out what it was called through the text, and then it was just kind of like officially revealed. So the first episode is called Into the Void. And the second episode, which is a lot more interesting and actually has something to talk about, is called The Flash of Lightning. Now, The Flash of Lightning... it's The Flash of the Lightning. The Flash of the Lightning is the name of an issue in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and specifically...
And it's the one where Barry sacrifices himself, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one where the Flash dies. So, yes, it seems like... Obviously, we knew Arrow is going to be very Crisis setup heavy going into the season, and it seems like Flash will be doing some stuff as well with this particular episode title. I mean, obviously, Barry, I'm sure, is not going to die in this episode. But we are going to see something possibly related to Crisis. I believe the Monitor is meant to be in this episode, because LaMonica Garrett has been on set.
Yeah.
He's been on Instagram. Also, he's just been announced for Wales Comic Con, so that's pretty cool. He's been on set, so the Monitor is going to be showing up in episode 2, and that obviously lines up with this. Obviously, it's difficult to talk about it because we don't quite know what's going on. We don't know how Crisis heavy it's going to be. Is it just going to be this one cameo appearance, or is it going to be all focused around Crisis? We don't quite know.
I reckon. I'd say Arrow's probably going to be the one that's like more dedicated. So I reckon Flash, it'll be just a case of like a quick cameo, just because obviously
the Flash, like why Arrow is the most.
No, because logically you would just make it the Flash because the Flash is the show that is the most used to dealing with the multiverse. Yeah,
it's the one that set up this Crisis. Like from the very, like literally ever since the pilot of The Flash, they've been setting up Crisis. And again, I'm just salty because Arrow's bloody on its final season. I don't want to waste it with Crisis. I'm just salty, but anyway, yeah, those first 2 episodes, I was like, so the first one,
Yeah.
Into the Void, not particularly anything too
But
interesting.
the second one's a cool Easter egg, but I don't really know if that'll really
to what
give us a lot of
extent
insight
that'll-
into the episode. Yeah, like what it will mean for the actual episode itself, because I don't know. Because I've heard some people say like, "Oh, does this mean that Crisis starts from this point?" Like, but again, I think it would just be too early. I reckon, because I'm still trying to think now. Did the CW ever explain that thing that they showed for Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they were said like, what was it? Whatever hours over something quarters. Have they ever actually properly explained that, or have they still just like not said anything?
No, well, that was leaked, wasn't it, from the upfronts, that poster. So yeah, what is it? 5 hours over 2 quarters.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've all kind of assumed what that means is Crisis will start before the end of the mid-season, and then we'll continue after the mid-season. So you'll probably have Arrow will probably be in the first half. Flash, Supergirl, and maybe in the back half you'll have Legends and Batwoman. I don't know. Or maybe Batwoman won't be in there because Batwoman will maybe be in the first half because we don't know how many episodes Batwoman is yet. I believe it might be 13. I imagine it'll be 13. Most CW season 1s are. So who knows? They haven't explained that properly. I mean, they haven't really said anything. Like officially, the CW haven't really said anything about Crisis other than it's happening. And they are writing it right now. They've said that they're writing it right now. Hopefully at Comic-Con, which is literally in a couple of weeks' time, that'll be a big episode for us. There'll be lots of news then. Hopefully at Comic-Con they might, give us some details, and obviously we might even get some trailers and stuff like that. Not for Crisis specifically, but for the other shows, which might give us a little bit of insight. So yeah, it's literally just a waiting game now to see what we get and when we get it. Now, interestingly, we did also find out about a couple of characters who are going to be showing up in The Flash. Like I say, we did see that the Monitor is going to be in episode 2. Also, in episode 1, we're going to be seeing Godspeed again.
Oh, yeah, Godspeed. But it's a non-speaking... Didn't it say like non-speaking, though?
I believe so, yeah.
So that sucks balls, but...
Yeah, I don't know why Godspeed's in the episode.
No, I mean, like, if you're not going to speak, like, what's the point? It'll literally just be fan service cameo, that's it. And if it's just that, then I'd rather he just not be there.
Yeah, it's just forced, really.
Yeah.
Like I say, Godspeed was really well introduced last season. I think I really loved him when they did him. Despite all of our jokes and how much they take the piss out of the character.
Godspeed dabbing. Maybe that's the only thing he'll do in this episode. That's why he's not got a voice to him. It's just dabs. It's just him dabbing throughout the whole episode.
I'll watch it, but I mean, it's cool that they're bringing him back. But it's just like if you're not going to do anything significant with him, then what's the point? I mean, we all said last season we were all like, well, there's no way that's the only time we're going to see him because of the suit. But it's like if this is what we're doing with him, is there really much point? Just leave it out if you're not going to do anything important. But whatever, they might be doing actually something interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Godspeed might be a recurring character this season. I could see them doing that, just given how popular the character is. And he was kind of one of the standouts of last season, so I could see them doing that. But who knows? There's also a new villain. I can't remember the name, but he's from Flash New 52. He's it's Blood something or other. Ramsey Ramos is his real name. He's potentially going to be your episode 1 typical meta character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's called Blood something or other. He's a hemophiliac who can control people's blood. So can basically just turn your blood to boiling temperatures and kill you from the inside. So he's a pretty pleasant bloke.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, he's actually he works in the morgue at the CCPD in the comics. So who knows? Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a 1-episode villain. It's not anything big.
It definitely doesn't sound like something that'd be sticking around for a while.
Yeah, maybe he'll target Joe now that Joe's the captain. You dare go near my Joe, I swear to God.
Joe's dying in Crisis. I'm predicting it now.
He's gonna make the hero's death.
Oh yeah, he's gonna make the hero sacrifice, not Oliver.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd still be crying if it was Joe, if it were Papa Joe.
I've been saying Joe's gonna die since season 3, so it's gotta happen eventually. It's the same with Diggle.
Eventually. Yeah, look, we've already got one dead father on the Arrowverse that we all love, which was Quentin. That means the second one's gonna be only a matter of time.
I really need to start watching Paul Blackthorne's new show. I really want to watch it just because to be honest.
You just want to watch it because of him.
To be honest, I think it looks bad, but I want to watch it just because he's the second lead. And he's just his character's name is Tom Hackett. That's a cool name.
Tom Hackett.
And he's like a detective with a cool fedora hat. I want to see it. Anyway,
God's...
moving on over to Arrow news. Yesterday, Googie himself released.
Fuck Guggenheim. Fuck this cunt. Why is he still
involved?
posting? Why is he still posting pictures of a show that he's not the showrunner of? Can he just please go? You're a consultant. Wow, congrats. Please leave.
Well, he did post a couple of pictures of new costumes. Now, they weren't full pictures, they were little like teaser pictures, really up close. One of them was kind of, greenish, and the other one was blackish. So this has led us to believe, who are these costumes for. The green one does look kind of comic accurate-ish in the way the chest area, or what I'm assuming is the chest area, is designed. So I'm guessing, is that Oliver's new suit? Is that like his multiverse traveling suit?
Do you know what? I don't think it is. I don't think either of them are for current day. I reckon that both of them are for the future storyline. It's going to be Connor and Mia's.
I did see someone bring that up. That's pretty interesting. So do you think Mia would get the Green Arrow suit? I guess she would she?
She probably will, and then I'll have a hole for my TV screen.
But then what about the black one? Because the black one to me looked like a Black Canary suit, and they're not going to put Connor in that.
Yeah, but they wouldn't put. I'm not sure if they put Laurel in that one either, because they've already established that she's still wearing that Black Canary suit in the future, so it couldn't be her. I mean, why would you give Dinah another suit? Because no one fucking likes her character, and she already had one in season 6. I just can't imagine who it would be.
Maybe it's Zoe's
current day. Yeah, it could be Zoe's, but yeah, I'd say
because Zoe technically doesn't have a costume.
No, so maybe it could be for her, but I definitely don't think it's for anybody who's in the current day.
Yeah,
definitely not for anyone in the current day storyline. It has to be for someone from the
Plus, I
from
don't know
the flash
if it's
forwards.
worth giving Oliver a new suit. I mean,
no, I mean like
season,
you got 10 more. You got 10 more episodes.
Like, the suit, there's nothing wrong with the suit.
The suit that he's got on now is still my favorite suit they've had.
Yeah, it's a good suit. So and if it's the last season, it doesn't really matter anyway. And
no,
plus,
it doesn't matter.
In season 7 they kind of gave us a refresh of it because he doesn't wear the hood or the mask anymore. So it's kind of like last season. We kind of got a new-ish version of the suit, if you will.
Yeah, let's just hope that he grows out his hair more so he looks better unhooded in the suit. Like when we saw him at London, he was rocking that longer hair. Yeah, I don't care if it had a bit of grey in it. That doesn't bother me as long as it's nice and long. If it's not, if it is, as long as it's beautiful and long, I don't give a shit what colour it is.
It's like Old Man Oliver.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Now you're making me think of what if they did like just Logan style like film for Arrow and it's just Oliver Queen. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Do it as
I'm envisioning it right now. I'm going to stop before I start to fanboy live on air.
Speaking of like Arrow movies ish, this is just like came into my mind. Do you remember a while ago they announced, like when it was first announced season 8 was going to be the final season? Do you remember they announced they were going to be doing the Arrow documentary?
Yeah.
Have we heard anything else on that?
I've heard nothing about it since, which makes me think they're probably just going to half-arse it, which I really don't want them to do because I want it to be like a proper in-depth documentary.
Like proper special.
Yeah, because it deserves it. Because it's the founding show of the Arrowverse. So, but I just would have thought that maybe they would have at least said something about it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll get something about it at Comic-Con. Maybe they'll say something else about it, but I don't know. Because
I'm wondering how they're going to do it. Are they going to release it as like a program on the CW? Like, is it going to be like a 42-minute, maybe they'll do it over the Christmas, like, mid-season? Or, like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Either way, I'm hyped. I'm pretty excited. Because I still just want to see, like, all the cast come back, like, bring back people like Paul Blackthorne, Susanna Thompson, John Barrowman, like, bring back all these cast members and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Willa Holland would be another one you could bring back. There's a lot of cool ones you could bring back, especially because in season 8, like, they're talking about how they're going to try and bring back so many people. I heard, I believe it was either Stephen Amell or Beth Schwartz said that there's a big returning character who has a big role to play in season 8. I've seen people say Slade.
Please be Slade.
Alternate Earth Slade? Alternate Earth Adrian? Yes, please.
Please, yes, please, Adrian. Just
please
like on
bring back Josh Segarra. Just once, please.
Just Josh Segarra. We need to see him at least once. He's got to come back for at least one appearance because he ain't got any work at the moment. Man needs some work.
Why is no one like, casting this guy in anything? Like, he's so good. Like, the last movie he did was Overboard, and that's just like
It was awful. It was awful. It was like he deserves so much better than this.
He should be in like the MCU.
He should have been Mysterio.
Actually,
actually, no.
Jake is the boy. I don't know if I go that far, but definitely cast him as an MCU villain. I will take that. But anyway, that's the news. Again, not too much, but again, Comic-Con is right around the corner, so we'll have stuff pretty soon anyway. Also, I'd just like to mention as well, I'm officially going to London Film and Comic-Con at the end of the month, and I am officially meeting Hoss. It's finally happening. Now, Hoss over here is not coming, so he won't be meeting him. So he's completely scuffled our plans to get the
No. I already said that I wasn't gonna come down. I already said I'm.
But Hoss himself is going to be there. This is the only time I've ever seen Hoss come to a UK convention.
Look, I know I'm missing out, but
you are missing out. Big time. Think about all the amazing amazing Hoss opportunities you could have here. I'm gonna get my photo up with him, probably meet him as well, just so I can just speak to him and hear him say Hoss. Do you reckon I could get him to record a video just saying, like, this doesn't change anything, Hoss? Like, we could say it together, side by side. I think that'd be pretty awesome, in my opinion. So, anyway, jumping into the review for Supergirl Season 4. Quite a lot of things to discuss for this season. A very interesting season. But before we got to talk about all the good stuff, I just want to talk about the entire first half of the season, which was terrible.
Fucking atrocious. Like, you could, like, alright, we say that Arrow this season was guilty of having, like, a stretch of episodes where it was just, like, so good and it peaked, and then the rest of it was pure dog shit. Supergirl's the complete opposite. Yep. Like, the first half of this season was awful. I would argue it was, like, season 1, maybe even worse at times than season 1. Like, I remember just, like, especially, like, 1, 2, and 4, just in particular, those episodes... Like, I remember me and you, we were we were just, like, laughing with each other as, like, how terrible they were. Like, I remember we got to one point, was it with the Kara and the suit?
The Power
and we were just like, how long is she going to be in this suit for?
It was ridiculous because it was just, like, it was so obvious that obviously Melissa Benoist was not on set. It was so obvious. And it was just so ridiculous and funny.
Yeah, I mean, she might have been very good on tour, but it was like she kind of fucked over the show in that regard because it's like, oh shit,
they had to write their way around it. It was so weird,
and it was so obvious as well. It wasn't done in a way where it was like subtle. It was just like, no, she's just not here, lads. So we're just.
The season's really like it is a bit of a mixed bag this season in a way because even though I really enjoyed it once you get into the back half, it's like you have the first half which is really bad, the second half which is really good. But then in the first half, you've got episode 3, which is possibly the best episode of Supergirl ever made.
So but it's like, kind of just... But the problem is that it's just drowned out by the amount of shit episodes that kind of border around it.
Yeah, and what's funny is that Supergirl's not even in the episode.
She's in, like, what, 2 scenes?
I think it's, like, 1 scene.
No, 2, because, like, she's in the one... She's in the flashback scene where Agent Liberty meets her, and then there's the scene at the very end... where they end up putting her, though they put her in the Power Ranger suit.
Oh, right, yeah. So, yeah.
How do I remember so much of this episode?
Well, it was a pretty good episode, to be fair.
Like it was pretty good. It's pretty good, yeah. But
episode of Supergirl.
It's pretty good, but I tried my best to kind of remove all of the first half of season 4 out of my brain because it was so bad.
Yeah.
But no, the second half was like really good, especially, I basically say from 15 onwards, that's really where it kicked into gear. I mean, in between then, like, what was it, episodes 10 to 14, you could tell it was getting better, but it wasn't anything that was to, like, that was beating it was the best of what's he...
It was more like fun stuff, like, because they
more
had,
like fun stuff.
They had, like, the Manchester Black and the Elite in that kind of time. Because that was, like, they were, like, the villains we were dealing with at that point before they started to introduce Lex and Red Daughter. We had Manchester Black and the Elite, which, again, they weren't, like, top-tier stuff, but it was fun. And I was enjoying the episodes. I really liked Manchester Black as a character. We'll talk about him later, but
we'll talk about him. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed him and like bringing in the Elite. I thought were really cool. And again, it wasn't like top tier stuff, but it was fun stuff. And fun was something that I have not had on Supergirl for a very long time.
I mean, it's been fun at times, but just for the absolute wrong reasons, which is kind of why in some points, it's one of those shows where it's like I will shit on it, but there will be moments of it where it's so terrible. I'm just like, oh, I just love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like the first half of the season is like so filled with like typical Supergirl stuff, for the reason why we typically don't like the show with all of its SJW and politics and
SJW.
Yeah, and it's just like that's the reason why we don't like it, and that's the first half was maybe the worst they've ever done it, especially because the storyline this season was so politically heavy.
Yeah, and it just didn't need to be. Like, why are we having such politically heavy storylines in a show where people fly around in the sky?
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
So, like, that's why the first half was really dragged down, was because, again, it went back to the dealing with the politics that people don't like, and because it was such a politic-heavy season, it kind of felt even worse than it probably would have done otherwise. But sticking with negatives, I will get some negatives out of the way. Mercy Notice Graves, terrible.
Terrible. Oh my god! And then they had the audacity
Otis.
to bring, and they had the audacity to bring him back.
Why would they not bring back Mercy? Like, she's so like the more infamous one, and especially because she is Lex's bodyguard. Why would you not bring her back, but bring back Otis? Like, the one that no one liked, the most like punchable, obnoxious looking guy, and also they made him Metallo for some reason.
It's probably because Mercy Graves' face was that swollen up. Because I mean, just look at her. Like, the actress is terrible, and her face just looks like it's like they had a vacuum and it's just sucked all the fat out of her face.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I hated both of them. Both of them couldn't act. They were terrible, overacted, and their death scene was one of the most unintentionally funny moments I've ever seen on Supergirl.
Mercy.
I'm gonna find that audio clip now because it's so brilliant.
Yeah, I'll insert it here if I have any skill.
Oh my god! Like, honestly, they were terrible. And then something else I didn't like about the season was other than the forced politics and those two. Manchester Black, although I did like him as a character, I thought the way they ended off his storyline was really, really underwhelming. I found that really poor. Like, he's in a place with John, and then he's just like touches him with his staff, and he disintegrates. Wow, what was that? It felt so anticlimactic because they built up like this whole thing with John and him feeling almost responsible for leading Manchester to what he's become, and then all of a sudden to just end it like that in that manner, it was so weird. And especially because he was such out of all the characters we had at that time, he was one of the more interesting Rons, and I really liked what they did with him. And then it was just, it was just terrible. It was almost like they just, we've got to end it somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, let's just end it with John killing him, even though that's exactly what he's been trying to avoid. I mean, I have to say, I wasn't a fan of...
I can't kill Manchester. And
I wasn't a fan of John's story this season.
No.
I felt like that particular direction was not one they should have taken with Jean as a character. I mean, I don't mind where it ended up, because it kind of went back to the kind of character that Jean was, because Jean being a pacifist is just unrealistic. So, like, to take him down that path, it did lead to some really good scenes from David Harewood and his acting. Like, he was amazing this season, as he always is. He's one of the more reliable actors on the show. But, like, I didn't enjoy that direction for Jean. I felt like it was the wrong direction, especially in in that first half of the season when he's being, like, a counselor with, like, his group. I was like, this is weird. And it didn't fit right with the character for me. Again, in the later half of the season, when he starts to get more involved again, I was like, okay, this is better. And at least he actually got to get involved in the crossover this year as well. For the minute he was in it.
Yeah, but, for like the 1 minute screen time.
I just did enjoy where they took Jean. And it did lead to some good scenes. And I did like the dynamic between him and Manchester, but it got to the point of, like, where I was questioning the realism of the situation, where I was like, come on, Jean. Like,
and it just kind of felt, it did feel like in the end, it was just like, it felt a bit repetitive what they were doing with him, where it's like, I can't kill you, Manchester, and he just keeps on getting away, and it's just...
Yeah, it's that typical... It was kind of like in Arrow Season 5 between Oliver and Prometheus, but so much worse.
Yeah, just, like, not interesting at all, because, like, they just clearly didn't know what the fuck they were doing with that storyline, and they were just kind of going along with it for as long as they could, and then just ended it so abruptly.
Yeah, so I wasn't a fan of that. Also... James, once again, nothing.
Nothing to do. Like,
they've given him an eye patch now, and they think that's enough, but it's not. They think that's what's called character development, but it's not. I'm sorry, writers, I can't give you that.
Can we just have the picture of him in the eye patch? Can that just be throughout the entire?
Put it on the thumbnail.
I'm definitely putting it in the thumbnail. Listen, the thumbnail is just going to be him with the eye patch, but just enlarged. Just do it like that. Actually, I'll just draw a horn on the top of his head so they can look more like a black solid snake.
But yeah, it was James again, just nothing to do. They gave him powers for a bit, and then
and then an eye patch, and it's like, look at us guys, we gave him all these things. This is character development.
We broke him up with Lena. Like that was the most eventful thing that happened. He broke up with Lena.
Yeah. Oh, that breakup scene with the two of them in the car.
Emotional.
Oh my god, I was laughing.
Oh my god, how heartbreaking that scene was.
Oh my god.
I just feel bad. Like every single year I do this.
Every single year, Mekar Brooks gets shafted by the writers and nothing changes.
No.
Oh my god. Also, I'll point out another criticism as well. I did like Red Daughter, but I think they took way too long to properly introduce her. They should have done it far earlier than they did.
Yeah.
And again, I think this is kind of goes hand in hand with the politics, because in that first half of the season, they spent such a damn long time trying to make them such a big deal that they ended up kind of forgetting about Red Daughter. And then when it got to the back half of the season, it's like, oh yeah, I guess we can fit her in now. And she was really good. And I'm like, why did you not do this earlier? Like, it was so much more interesting.
Because performance-wise, Melissa was great. She was really good at the Russian accent. I was actually really impressed with that. Like, it was really unfaltered. But yeah, they just introduced her far too late into the season, where we could have had so much more with her, especially because with Kara, we actually got some development. Like we actually started to get some moments where Kara...
Like, a little bit of development where I'm like, oh god, are they actually developing their main character?
I know, like, it was such a rare thing. It was such like a lovely taste of delight, and then it was just, it was only in like the last 5-6 episodes, and we could have had a whole season with that.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, I'm surprised we didn't get the whole season, because that was the season 3 cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's weird to me. But yeah, Red Kara was really cool overall. We'll probably come back to that.
Yeah, and also Agent Liberty. I did like him, but we can all agree on this. Basically, as soon as Red Daughter enters the picture and Lex enters the picture, they completely like, what the fuck happened to Agent Liberty after that? I felt like two different characters.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. Like, Agent Liberty was easily the standout in the first half. Like, from all the bad stuff that was going on in the first half, Agent Liberty was by far the standout. And like, Sam Witwer was great. I loved the character's origin story. I loved the setup. I loved what he was doing. He benefited from the political storyline, but also he was a realistic character. He was a grounded character, which you don't really get a lot on Supergirl. And I thought he did a great job for most of it. And then, yeah, as soon as, they start to really push Manchester and the Elite, and then Lex comes in and Red Daughter comes in, he gets completely shoved aside and made this into a really strange side character that just is not consistent with the character we had before. Yeah.
In a way, kind of similar, I guess, to Emiko, except he was actually written good for a good portion of the season. And then it was just strange. And especially the bit where he ends up taking the same thing that James takes that gives him the superpowers. Yeah. That was the jump the shark moment for me, because that completely went against everything that they'd set up with his character. And I'm just like, what? Who? Yeah, like who authorized this story? Who actually looked at that and thought, you know what? Yeah, that's consistent with the first half of the season. Let's write that. Let's try that, guys. That makes complete sense.
Like,
and then in the finale, and then in the finale, he just gets destroyed by Kara within 10 seconds, and then that's him over and done with. Like, it was just such an anticlimactic end for a character that they pushed so hard in the first half of this season. It's just. Yeah, this season has just had a massive villain problem this season. It had too many villains. They should have just stuck to and look, I love Agent Liberty, but for me, it was clear from the get-go that they wanted to do Red Daughter and Lex Luthor. For me, those two should have been the big bads, and I would have probably just saved Agent Liberty for season 5. I would have honestly rather have seen that, because it just feels like Spider-Man 3 syndrome, where you try and shove in all these villains, and then you just don't really end up developing any of them to their full potential, apart from the two that stand out up to the rest, which are obviously Red Daughter and Lex. So I feel like, if they just cut out all those other unnecessary villains, like Otis Graves, like admittedly Manchester Black and the Elite, and admittedly like Agent Liberty, I think the season would have benefited far more because it just would have been more consistent. Would have got rid of all of the subplots that just clustered up the season and led to nowhere. Like, yeah, this season definitely needed a rewrite.
Yeah. I felt like there was definitely a villain problem, and I remember thinking this very early on in the season when we started getting news. I think I probably brought it up on here. I was like, we were finding out about all these villains. Like we were finding out about Agent Liberty, and then we were finding out about Manchester Black, and then there was rumors of Lex and the Red Daughter thing. I was like, this is, and then we like Mercy, Otis Graves were kind of being bigged up as big villains at the time, and I was like, this is sounding messy, and it is by the end. It's not messy episode by episode, but when you look back in retrospect and you look back by the end of the season, you realize after all the villains have been dropped, you're like, yeah, there was no room for like closing off any arcs here. Like, especially with Agent Liberty, the moment they gave him powers, I was done. I was like, this is ridiculous now. Like, they don't know what to do with this character, because as you mentioned, giving him powers completely goes against exactly what that character stands for. So like just to give him powers, I was like, well, this is just stupid. Like this just wouldn't happen. And he gave James powers, and I guess it was supposed to be a duality thing, but at the end of the day, James is a character who gets no development either, so it doesn't matter. So so like, why are you messing up Ben's story? Like it was so strange to me. So yeah, there was definitely a villain problem within the season overall. Also, a character who I thought was weird, not bad necessarily, but just a bit of a forced inclusion, I think was James's sister.
Yeah, James's sister was, she kind of came in and then all of a sudden was this ultra prominent forced on character. And then
and a love interest for Alex.
Yeah, and especially that as well, the relationship with those two felt very fast tracked to me.
Yeah, it was very fast.
To me
like,
personally.
In comparison to like Alex and Maggie, which had like a season to develop, this was literally within the space of like she comes in like episode 19 or something like that. And then, like, she's literally an extremely prominent character in the back half and in those last, like, few episodes. And then, she's, like, with Alex by the end. It was, again, she's not a bad character. And I liked As He Testified, but she just, it was so forced. And she just came in as such a prominent force within that back half. And you know she's a series regular next season, but it just felt weird to me.
Yeah, they should have at least given her far more time on the show. Like, introduce her, 3 episodes earlier, just so it doesn't feel so tacked on, because it felt so obvious that they're trying to shove all of this in now so they don't have to do it for next season. Whereas if you'd actually bothered to introduce her earlier and give more time with her, then it wouldn't feel so forced. And especially with the relationship with her and Maggie. No, not her and Maggie, sorry, Alex. I'm getting confused now of all these names. Like that would have felt more natural. It wouldn't have felt so forced and like an obvious tactic by the writers to fast track this so they don't have to bother with it for next season.
Yeah, because there were a lot of scenes where like Alex and Kelly would just have scenes together that they wouldn't have had, because it was just like, because they were trying to force this relationship, because it was like there's so many, like, because Alex in the back half goes through the storyline of like adopting kids, and like she has these really deep, meaningful, heart-to-heart conversations with Kelly, and I'm just like, why you don't know this person? You haven't, like, you've only known her for like a week. Why are you doing this? Like, you wouldn't spill out she wouldn't even spill out Augusta James. Like, she doesn't even know James that well. Why are you doing it to his sister all of a sudden? Other than the fact that you think she's hot, but like it was so obvious to me that they were giving them those scenes to try and create some chemistry between the characters, which granted, it's not like there's a lack of chemistry, but again, it just felt like, oh, we need to have these characters have scenes together, even though it makes no logical sense. And that again felt forced. It felt very, very obvious to me that they were like, okay, introducing this character, let's make her the love interest by giving her all these scenes together, and we'll see how it goes. And again, that's where they end up in the season, and that's where they're going to go in season 5, because she is a regular next season, so... Again, not a bad character, not a bad performance. I just felt like her inclusion was forced.
Yeah.
I think they could have waited until next season, or just, like you say, introduced her a bit earlier on to make it a bit more natural. So, other negatives, do you think there's any other major ones that stick out to you? I'm trying to think.
Not really for me personally. I've kind of said everything I need to. I guess I could maybe say, like, in terms of like least favorite episodes, easily 1, 2, and 4 just immediately come into mind.
Incredibly rough start.
Yeah, incredibly rough. There's probably more that are missing, but those ones in particular, I just remember being just so difficult to get through. Like I remember just sat there, and it's like as soon as I started to pick up my phone when I'm watching an episode of television, that's when I know that it's failing.
Yeah.
And the only times I was like watching the screen was when shit that was so bad that it was good was happening.
Yeah.
That was the only time I was looking up. But like it's just generally terrible. So yeah, there's probably more episodes that aren't coming to mind, but they're the ones that stick out to me. I guess yours are probably the same as well.
Yeah, mine are the same. And also just another negative I do have, slight negative, is to do with the character of Nia.
Oh yeah.
I said this when they first revealed her superhero costume. I don't like how quickly she became a superhero.
Yeah.
Because,
but I think this is kind of a problem that all the Arrowverse
they all have this problem.
They have this obsession where they bring in this new character and immediately fast track them into becoming a hero. And it just makes the whole thing feel so unbelievable, because we've brought this up many times, but you look at Roy Harper, introduced in season 1, spent all of season 2 training.
Yeah, and it's only in season 3 where he actually joins. Well, season 2 finale, but season 3 was when he properly became Arsenal and joined Team Arrow. It's like you had like a whole season being introduced to the character. You had a whole season of him training, and then you had the whole season of him actually being a member of the team. So it worked.
Yeah,
it was believable. You bought it because you were super invested in that character and you had seen his journey. But with Nia, again, I like Nia. I'll come back to Nia later on, but it's just bringing her in and being like, okay, here she is. Here she is now. She's got a costume. She's got powers. She's now super competent. Great. It was just like, again, it was a very CW Arrowverse thing where they had to bring in all these characters and just make them.
It didn't really feel as if she went on a journey, which I feel like should always be the main priority when you do a story like that, because you look at Roy Harper and Arrow, that was a journey. In season 2, his whole with him basically training to become his sidekick, he goes on a journey in that regard. And I feel like with Nia, they just didn't do that. It was just like, well, we need another superhero on the show. There you go. Just we're going to make him superhero by the halfway through the season. There you go. He's hero now.
Even Mon-El had a better journey.
Yeah.
Than that.
Even Mon-El, fucking hell.
Also, another negative as well I will bring up.
If you keep on going up with these negatives, Benjamin's going to be stopping this Real Movie Talk podcast. I'm telling you.
This isn't even really like a negative. It's just like a thing they said they were going to do, and then they backtracked. Jeremy Jordan was not in this season. He was meant to be. He was meant to be a recurring character. Turns out he wasn't in the season at all. So that was really disappointing. I love Wynn. He's one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I was sad that he's not back. Apparently he's back next season. I mean, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
But guess who wasn't in this season? Mon-El.
I mean, Mon-El apparently has always just been envisioned as a 2-season character, so fair enough.
But I just love how mad the Caramel fans were, where it's just he didn't show up.
Well, one thing, I mean, we'll kind of move to the positives now, I guess. Kara didn't have a love interest this season. That was
Which
nice.
Is fantastic. Thank you.
That was nice.
I can't believe the writers were actually intelligent enough to do this.
I know. Literally, there wasn't a single one. I was like, that's not even a brief.
This is unheard of for Supergirl.
Yeah, literally, season 1 is James, and then season 2 is Mon-El, season 3 is Mon-El again. Season 4, nothing. I was really happy. I was really impressed with that. Because again, Kara actually got some development this season. Because I guess that's what their excuse has been. Is she didn't need development. She had a love interest storyline. But it's in this season, they actually gave her a bit of development in the back half. So it was oh, that's nice. That's refreshing. Thanks for developing your main character, writers. Much appreciated. Flash writers, if you could do the same, that'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
I appreciate that we didn't actually have a love interest. It actually made it feel refreshing in a way to not have to deal with that. Because again, it just gets tiring. Even though I do actually, as much as all the jokes about it and the fans are ridiculous, I do like the Kara and Mon-El situation, especially in season 3. Because in season 3,
he's given into it. What's Ben been slipping into your tea? You have never ever supported Caramel.
No, I just think I don't think the relationship is great.
Ben's been slipping some drugs into your tea. That's what's happening.
It's no Olicity, right? It's not that bad, but
the fan base is
the fan base. Yeah, but that's a different thing. But that's what I said before I said that. The fans are ridiculous, but I feel like the romance there. As far as Supergirl romance,
you're only saying that because you have the hot to Melissa and they're together in real life.
Who doesn't know?
The only reason.
But anyway, moving on, carrying on with the positives. I'll just say this up top. We said this in every single review.
Every single one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alex was great. Probably best part of the season.
Well,
maybe not, but
I mean, throughout the entirety of the season, like the most consistent thing throughout the season. Yeah. Yes, definitely, she was. She was the most.
She was great.
She was great throughout. But then again, I think Charlie always is. It's just that obviously in season 1 and 2, the writing for her character wasn't particularly great, and then in 3 they really did a good job with it, and then this season they kind of just continued on with that. And
it's a strong, consistent character of the group.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and then we kind of already spoke about Manchester Black. I really liked. Again, his ending was not great, but I think the character, the performance from David Ajala, I really enjoyed. I liked his Britishness. As a Brit myself, I always appreciate a Britishness of a character. Like I'm currently watching right now. I'm currently watching Lucifer, and I'm really enjoying Tom Ellis's performance in that because of the Britishness of it. And again, Manchester Black had a similar thing. He was very clearly very much from Leeds, but I think it was very funny in that way. And again, the Elite were quite a fun little group. Like we had a Venom knockoff Menagerie.
No, I don't get this obsession with you, Menagerie. Like I thought, I didn't think she was that good.
No, I thought she was okay, but then moving over to the Hat, who I thought was a lot of fun.
The Hat was amazing.
Accent was terrible, but
like, what was that accent?
I don't know what that accent was. I don't know what he was trying to do.
If anybody knows who's watching this, please comment what you thought that accent was, because I had no clue. Like, I was watching it in one scene thinking, is it British? And then the next scene, I was just like, I don't have a clue.
Let's just say, he gave Katie McGrath a run for her money. Yeah, I went there.
I forgot that as well for negatives of this season. Katie McGrath's accent, still terrible.
That's just a given. It's a given. We don't need to point it out. And then, like, as I mentioned before, Nia, I really liked her, actually. Despite her development, I really enjoyed her personality. I liked her introduction into the show. I like the fact that her and Kara kind of became friends before they were heroes. Her working in the... what's the newspaper called again? Catco. Yeah. I've got Daily Bugle on the mind. It's been a while.
It's because you want to talk about something that's better than this season.
I just want to talk about Spider-Man.
Want to talk about Far From Home, guys?
I had Daily Bugle on the mind. But I really liked her working at Catco because it actually gave some more... Like, Catco came back in a lot more of a stronger form this season, which I liked. I always appreciate the newspaper side of things. Again, Flash, if you could take that'd be great as well for Iris. But I think like bringing Nia in was a good choice. I really like Nicole Maines. I think she's very, very likable. And again, I think given the fact this is like her first major acting gig, I think she did a pretty good job. I enjoyed her character overall. I like the costume as well. I do like the costume.
Yeah. Just wish that they'd not fast-tracked her character as much as they did.
Her powers are kind of BS, but...
yeah.
Her powers are basically anything. I remember, at first, I was like, her powers are going to be really weird to do on screen. And at first, they really were. And then eventually they just kind of gave her, telekinetic blasts I've just
thought of another negative, and you're going to laugh when I say this. Remember that episode where you had... the one where you had John on the car window and he looked so small.
Oh my god. Speaking about unintentionally funny moments in the season, that was brilliant. That was great. Some really dodgy CGI shots in this season. That was funny. That was hilarious. I remember watching that episode because for a lot of the Arrowverse shows, I mean, kind of as the season went on, I did this less and less, but I remember I used to wake up every morning before I went to work to watch the episodes, and I remember watching that and it woke me right up because I laughed so hard. It was so funny. I think that was the point where I stopped watching Supergirl in the mornings. But yeah, that was very, very funny.
Imagine if you'd watched that at work and they just burst out laughing.
See, I've had to stop watching the shows at work because I just I realize I can't keep my emotions in check. Whether it would be a moment like that or Quentin's death in season 6 of Arrow, I can't keep my emotions in check. So anyway, moving over to the next positive, I'm gonna say Red Kara. Red Daughter, great. I really enjoyed it. Again, a bit rushed, but I liked her overall. I loved Melissa's performance. I loved her accent.
Yeah.
And again, they actually gave this character a fair amount of development and an actual arc, which is pretty impressive. Like they gave her an arc.
Could we argue that Red Daughter has had more development in the 7 to 8 episodes that she was in than our main Kara has had in 4 seasons?
Yep.
I think so too.
Yep. It's happened.
It's happened.
No one will admit it, but it's happened.
At least Melissa can turn around and say my character got some development on the show.
Yeah. At least Kara actually got to have some fun this season, or Melissa got to have some fun this season by playing something a bit different. And again, she sold it well, because I was a bit worried about them doing a evil Kara because we saw it in Crisis and it wasn't very good.
Because I think we all just thought it would just be a replica of that, and it was just like, I'm not really in for that for a whole season.
What was smart about it was that she wasn't like straight out evil. She was just like,
she wasn't mustache twirling like Kara was.
She was what's the word I'm looking for? She was misunderstood. Like she was like the way she was brought up.
Corrupted. She was corrupted, basically.
Yeah, she was created and then just corrupted by Lex, and she knew nothing else, kind of thing. And as soon as her eyes were opened, so she was kind of a sympathetic villain in that way. And I think that works really well for Melissa Benoist, because Melissa Benoist cannot play evil. She's too nice to play evil. So in this, I think it worked quite well to make her that kind of sympathetic villain character. It worked really well in that way.
Yeah, she's like the female Keanu Reeves. You couldn't put Keanu Reeves as a villain because they're just too nice.
It is, yeah. Oh my god, can we get?
They're just too breathtaking. You know what I mean?
You're breathtaking. There's actually rumors Keanu Reeves is coming to LFCC.
Oh no! Don't no! This is lies. This man's. No, these are lies. This is. He wouldn't be. He's filming Bill and Ted 3. Why would he be there?
That was my thought as well. Where
have you heard these rumors from?
Because basically they put out a post today saying that they've got a big guest, because they've got big guest announcements coming tomorrow, and they said that one of them is a lead in a franchise that's hot right now, and people are saying Keanu Reeves for John Wick.
Oh. I swear to God. All right then. All right, I'll say this now. If Keanu Reeves is announced, I'm going. Cool. If he is announced, I will go.
Breathtaking, right?
That's completely sad. Look, this is our love for Keanu Reeves, guys. If we mention his name, we're all going to get sidetracked.
Look, it's fine. We can talk about Keanu. It's perfectly allowed. Plus, the thing is, if he goes, everyone's just like, he's going to be so tired by the end of the day, because everyone's going to be going up to him saying, "You're breathtaking," and expecting him to say it back. And I'm not going to lie, I'll probably end up doing the same, because it was just the best thing. Like, literally, the best thing about E3 2019 was none of the games. It was Keanu.
It was Keanu Reeves. He was the best moment there. You can't argue this.
He was. He just was. He absolutely was. So moving over to what I would say is the best thing about this season. And me and you, we have to eat our words. John Cryer, what a magnificent job you did.
Yeah, I take. Look, the thing was that I remember when this was announced and I was being negative about it, but I still remember saying then, I want to be proven wrong, just because I wasn't that excited about it. So I am very happy to be proven wrong, because he was so good. And
brilliant.
Look, I don't think the pre-release material helped him one bit at all. It didn't help him. Awful. Yeah, that was what
it's
kind of
as bad as Sony's Far From Home posters.
Which is worse? What would you say?
I mean, if you can physically make Jake Gyllenhaal look bad, I
would say Far From Home, just because Sony have always been crap at marketing their film trailers. Like, it's shit. So, but no, the pre-release stuff didn't help whatsoever. But he was phenomenal. And the thing that I just love about him, especially in comparison to Jesse Eisenberg as Lex, is that he can be a bit quirky and a bit outlandish. But the difference is that it didn't feel forced with him. It felt so natural. It didn't feel as if he was trying to play like an over-the-top character to the point where it distracted you and it like kind of took you out of the viewing experience. He just knew how to ride that fine line, and he was just so good. And his plan throughout the entire season, it was one where, there were a lot of steps to it, but it made sense. And just watching it play out was really cool. And just in general, he was like easily the best villain Supergirl has had, without question. Without question. Like, yeah.
I mean, I know we both are big fans of Reign, but
but she fell off after the first half of that season 3. Like, it was kind of like, and you could tell that was going to happen anyway with the whole Andrew Kreisberg situation, because he had such a big hand with Reign that as soon as he left and they had to rewrite the back half of the season, I kind of knew that she wouldn't be as good. Yeah,
that's when it started to get a bit messy.
Yeah, that's always one thing I've always wondered about season 3. Is like, what if Andrew Kreisberg, like the whole situation hadn't happened?
Yeah,
and he was still there.
Not that we're defending Andrew Kreisberg.
No. But just out of curiosity,
because the first half of season 3 is so drastically better than the rest of it.
Yeah,
that first little chunk is quite a bit better than the rest of it.
Yeah.
Even though I would say season 3 overall is a more consistent season than this, I think that it's just obviously season 4 was so strong in the back. But season 3, I'm very interested to see like what the original thing. It's like I really want to see what the Flash season 3 was originally before they rewrote that, because we kind of know what it was going to be. But I'd love to see it because.
But I'd love to know the ins and outs about it, like what they were going to do. Obviously, we know the main plot wise what it's been, but like all the other characters and like the other storylines, because I reckon they must have been changed easily, because there's just so many things, like you say, that just don't add up at all. I reckon
more of the Legion originally as well, which would have been cool.
Yeah.
Lightning Lad, come on.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wynn comes back as Lightning Lad.
Oh.
Do you know who Wynn will be? I've said this, but I actually made a video on this ages ago. Wynn will be, there's a member of the Legion called the Magnetic Kid. It'll be him. Because, do you remember he designed for Alex, I believe it in season 3, that gun that she has like a magnetic connection to? Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
So I think we might see that next season. Like we'll see Wynn, he'll have his super suit and he'll be Magnetic Kid, or a version of that character.
All right, I'm intrigued.
That's my theory. But anyway, back to Lex. He was awesome. I just loved his performance. Like you say, it was over the top. It was campy, but it wasn't like Jesse Eisenberg where it felt like he was trying so hard. It was just like it felt natural. It came to him. And especially because John Cryer is not a typically dramatic actor. He comes from 2.5 Men.
Yeah, which obviously very comedic.
Yeah,
so
and that's why everyone had doubts about him. Everyone was like, are you sure this is the guy you want for Lex Luthor? But again, he proved us all wrong. He was the best part of the season. He was a standout, best villain of the Arrowverse this season, best villain of Supergirl. We spoke in the last episode about the Teen Choice nominations. He is the one that I'm like, yes, he deserves the nominations here because he's great. And I like the fact that even by the end of the season, he was like, he didn't even go too over the top. Like, because yes, he came in the suit and all that, but again, that's stuff from the comics and they could derive from that, and I think that's fine. And again, with this version of Lex, I think it works perfectly well. And the way he had like all the music playing in the finale and stuff like that was really entertaining. And even though he dies by the end, I am excited to see what they do with him in the future, because obviously we know that the Monitor kind of revives him.
So he's not really dead.
He ain't dead, no. And why would they kill him after the response they had? Especially with a character like Lex, who's such a big DC character. Like, why would you kill him off in one season?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised they're bringing him back. I think he'll play. I think he has a role to play in Crisis. I think, especially if obviously the Monitor revives him, so he must do. Clearly, the Monitor needs him alive, so he's going to have some role in some way. I have a feeling that Lex will probably end up maybe teaming up with some villains to do some stuff. I don't know. That'd be really cool. Maybe he'll form like a new version of the Legion of Doom. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a version of the Justice League Legion of Doom that we were meant to get in the movies, but on TV. We'll have John Cryer team up with Marnie Bennett.
Oh, damn.
That'd be cool.
Don't get my hopes up like this, Declan.
Well, look,
we know the CW can't deliver on this.
The Earths are going to merge, man. We're going to have Supergirl take place on Earth 1. I really hope that happens in Crisis. I really hope the Earths merge.
Imagine if it doesn't, considering how long we've been theorizing about it. Like, this is something
that's though. Like, and also it would make life so much easier. Like, because literally, like, I understand why Supergirl's on a different Earth right now, but after Crisis, there's no excuse.
No.
Like, I understand why they did it because of the network change. It made sense. But like now, if they're gonna do Crisis and they're not gonna merge the two Earths, I'm gonna be like, that's just stupid now. Like, this is your perfect opportunity, and this is also the opportunity. I think we mentioned this with the episode with Chris, but this is your time to bring in Black Lightning. If you don't do it now, it's never coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that poster that was leaked which had Black Lightning on it. We still don't know if that's real or fake or not. It looks fake to me, personally, but what do you think? Do you know what poster I'm on about?
Yeah, the one that was what was it, Russian poster,
Yeah, Russian
and it
poster.
had Black Lightning on. Yeah, I still I don't really know what to think about that because like I've not really I don't think I've even spoke about it to be honest with you because I know you've covered it on your channel, but I don't know. But like you say, I think this is like your last chance and only chance really to include Black Lightning. If it's not now, then forget about it. It's not part of the Arrowverse.
I
I
think
would love
I
for
honestly I think that poster's fake because
I do personally
because the
why would you have Oliver at the back?
Exactly. Why is
you have
Oliver at the back? Especially if Oliver is so quintessential to Crisis, which we know he is. Why would you have him at the back? It makes no sense. And also, like, the PNGs that are on there have been used before. Especially, like, the one of Oliver has been used before. The one with Sarah has been used before. I've seen, I think the Kara one's been used before. Even the Barry one's been used before, but they've literally changed the suit. And also, what I would like to point out is why would the CW release a Russian poster? The CW doesn't exist.
It's in Russia.
Why would they release a Russian poster? Like, and it'd be fine if it was like a Crisis on, but it has the CW logo on it. So like, it's like saying, oh, this is the official CW Russian poster. The CW doesn't exist outside of the US. Why would it have a Russian poster? It makes no sense. You don't see Sky One releasing like Russian posters for Game of Thrones.
No,
like it's just like it's ridiculous.
It's really very strange.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that poster's fake. But anyway, going back, the kind of major positive other than Lex for me is that I actually found the story engaging, like which was something that again is a very rare thing on Supergirl to actually have me being excited for the next episode and actually looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing where the story goes. I mean, that alone deserves a fucking award.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I just thought it was actually pretty engaging.
Like, yeah, that was just beautiful perfection.
It really was. Any other major negatives, positives that stand out to you?
I'm so used to
saying it.
Trying to test me for more negatives, man.
I'm so used to being negative on Supergirl. This is just...
I don't know. Can't really think of anything else, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it wasn't... The whole season wasn't utterly terrible. It was at least there was... Endorsement. At least there was a bit where it was like, damn, son, this is good television. Which I haven't been able to say about Supergirl beforehand.
It's a good television. Yeah, and crossover was good as well.
Oh yeah, crossover. Oh yeah, fantastic. Be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, normally the crossover is the best episode of Supergirl, but this year, actually, no, it wasn't. So again,
well done, Supergirl. We never know. Maybe in season 5 we'll get a consistent entire season where it's actually good. Because you never know.
I have to bring up something. I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast last week. I may have done.
What?
But people are saying that obviously Supergirl avoided the season 4 curse. What you got to remember is season 4 of Supergirl is not actually the 4th season on the CW.
It's the third season.
So season 5 is actually the CW's Supergirl season 4 because season 1 was CBS.
Well, yeah. I don't know though. I just feel like with season 5, just with the momentum they've been slowly building by making each season better than the last.
Yeah, because everyone thought the thing is, everyone thought Legends season 4 was going to break it, but it most certainly did not.
Nope.
It may be the worst victim of them all. So Supergirl technically has still got season 5 to get through.
Worst victim of them all? Have you not watched Arrow season 4?
Legends season 4 is worse than Arrow season 4.
No. Arrow season 4. No. Do you want to know why Arrow season 4 is worse? Because the show did such a good job of with its writing and its characters that for me to watch them get dragged into the ground hurt me far more than watching Legends characters get dragged. No, with Arrow, it just hurt far more to me because
I get that point.
It was so because with both it's very similar because they were both blindingly obvious in terms of what was wrong and how to fix it. But with Arrow, because I had such a deeper connection with that show, it just hurt me far more. Like, it physically broke me. Like, I stopped watching Arrow season 4 after episode 18, like, for a good solid, I think it was either a month or 2 months, like, to the point where basically by the time I started watching it, the show had already finished because it broke me that much. Whereas with Legends, I at least was like, do you know what? It's only 16 episodes. I'll stick out with it. Whereas with Arrow, it was 23 episodes, and after 18, I was like, nah, F this, I can't be bothered. And then it was like literally forcing myself to watch the last 5. Like, I remember that just being so painful because it was like this feeling of I felt forced to finish it even though I didn't want to. Like, it just hurt far more for me. So I would always say that Arrow for me was just worse.
I mean, I'll be honest, I almost dropped Legends this season. I was so close. It was episode 14 that almost did it for me, where I don't remember exactly when Gary's nipple turned into a fucking eye. That was the moment where I was like, I'm done. It was only because there were 2 episodes left. I was like, well, I might as well just finish it. If it was like 23, I would have been like, I'm done. I'm not sticking around for this because it's awful. I swear to God, season 5 better improve. I swear to God. Like, I don't like to sound entitled when I talk about shows and TV films and like, TV shows, but we deserve better than this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We deserve better. Especially when season 3 was so freaking good. And then we get to season 4 and it was just the hottest pile of trash I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It upsets me. But based on Phil Clemens' comments, I hope we're going back in the right direction, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I like the setup for season 5 that they did at the end of season 4, so hopefully we're going in that direction. Also, I'm just hoping that maybe season 5 might be the last season of Legends. I think it will be.
But do you really think so?
I think it will be. Just because the ratings have been so bad. Unless the ratings drastically improve.
Yeah, because look, let's just admit this now.
And they moved it to a mid-season show as well.
Yeah, so I just... Yeah, because, I mean, it was like... Did it only reach, like, over 1 million for 2 episodes, was it?
Yeah, I think it was the episode, like, 9.
The premiere.
The
premiere and the 9, because people thought it was
the crossover, yeah.
Crossover, yeah.
Because that episode has, like, drastically way more views than the rest of the season, because everyone thought it was the crossover and it wasn't. Although, to be fair, episode 9, I'd say, probably was the best episode of that season, so fair play.
It's the only redeeming quality.
It was like literally the only good episode. So anyway, I think that draws this to a close.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Legends in the next episode, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
We're all looking forward to that one. I'll probably be in the most ranty mood ever. Like, season 7 of Arrow was Dan's rant. Legends season 4 will be mine. I mean, it's been a while, so I've had some time to calm down.
You're getting me excited for this now.
Yeah, like, I don't rant very much, but you will see this. You know, you will see this happen. Especially because I'm probably not going to have the chance to review it on the channel. Like I haven't really had the chance to review Supergirl. So, yeah, get ready.
Just because you don't care about DCTV.
Yeah, that's true. So here comes the wrath of DC Central on Legends of Tomorrow. It's on its way. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. A storm is coming.
A storm is coming. Do you mean literally or figuratively?
Both, my friend.
Both. Oh, God.
Both. It is a physical storm that I can create with my rant, and also a metaphorical rant.
Oh, my God.
Getting into the deeper minds of the writers of Legends and tearing them apart from the inside. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode of One of Thy Podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure you share it around with the DCTV fans who you think may enjoy this content. And as always, I've been Deck.
I have been Dan.
And we hope to see you guys again next time.
Mercy!